So it's a very open teacher-to-teacher relationship that you have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the philosophy this year has changed a little bit in terms of they're not my students, they are our students. And so part of my job, in addition to helping the students, is to help the teacher know how to help the students so that if I'm not available for some reason, if I'm at a specialist meeting or if I'm at a professional development day or if I'm working on data analysis, which is very time consuming, and I'm not getting into the classroom to take those students or to push in and work with them, the teacher will know exactly what she should be doing so that there's no interruption in instruction.
Yeah.
So just because I'm not there doesn't mean that it shouldn't be happening.
Right.
So that's a big shift in philosophy this year. And in years past, it's been, where were you? You didn't take your kids. No, they're not our kids. They're everybody's kids. So I think the teachers have really shifted their mindset and are really becoming great at working with all the students in the classroom at their own levels.
So in what ways has your program been, or this program been different this year from last year?
Well, last year it was basically if you were put into a basic skills reading program and I saw you on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 10:30, then that's what would happen all year. I would give the running record assessments were given once a quarter, not on an as needed basis. So we've really looked at assessing students when you feel that they're ready to move up. You can tell when a child is reading at a level that's too easy for them or that they've achieved this level and are ready for a challenge to move on to the next level. If you work closely enough with a child and you're giving them the strategies that will help them move up to the next level, you can tell as an intuitive teacher. We've really revamped our whole assessment process, and I think that has really helped the teachers know when it's time to assess again. Teachers are meeting with students more often this year. We're doing a lot of one-on-one conferring with students. And so these are all things that have changed over the course of the last couple of years, I would say. But the biggest change this year in our program is, like I said, the amount of intervention based on the assessment. So, for example, it doesn't stay Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 10:30 all year long. It's every time I do an assessment, I look at where you are as a student and where you should be according to your grade level. And then I say, are you proficient? Are you minimally proficient? Or are you partially proficient? If you are partially proficient, then that means that you're reading 2 to 3 reading levels below the grade level expectation. So I am going to work with you intensely 5 days a week until I can get you up 1 or 2 reading levels. So it may be very different. In the beginning of the year, you might really be below grade level, and I might be working with you intensely 5 days a week, and I might see improvement and give you another running record. And then I might cut you back to 3 days a week because of the progress that you're making. So we're constantly assessing and reassessing the amount of intervention that the students need because that's just what the data tells us.
Right. And that shows me that students change, right?
Absolutely. It shows us that. And we're seeing tremendous progress in the students this year, tremendous movement in their levels because they're getting exactly the amount of service that they require. And so it's really very, very interesting.
I find it interesting that you say that the students are getting a service instead of instruction or extra help. So that makes me think, or makes me know that you approach this as I am a help, I'm a service, not this is a business sort of deal, and I'm meeting with this student at this time because they need the help,
Mm-hmm.
So I like how you said the word service. So, how is the way you, okay, let me think about this. So, the way you use your language, how does that affect the way the students comprehend the material at hand?
Um, well, you mean the way I word things for the students? Is
Yes,
that okay?
yes.
Well, of course, I adjust my language based on
Mhm.
the background and level of the students that I'm working with. When I'm working with English language learners, I am very basic in my language.
Okay.
I also use a lot of pictures with English language learners
Mm.
because sometimes, we take for granted that they might know what a squirrel is or what a cat is or what
Mhm.
and something as simple as that they may not necessarily know. So I do use a lot of pictures along with language when I'm working with English language learners. And then also, I look at the vocabulary and how well developed the student's vocabulary is, and I adjust my vocabulary accordingly as well. I want to be a good role model for them, so the more I could use higher level language, I like to do that. But I'm
Mm.
in tune with, are they getting this or are they not getting this? And
Yes.
I either, bump it up or water it down based
Mhm.
on the expressions on their faces.
Oh, okay. So I guess that's one of the signs, because you talked about earlier about how, um, as an intuitive teacher, you know when a student understands.
Mhm.
So I guess their facial expressions are also a really important element in determining whether or not they understand. So, what are some other indicators that tell you that the students know that they know the material?
Well, of course, the way they answer questions, and more than that, the way they answer higher level questions.
Mm.
Some students are able to answer very literal questions about text that we read. So then I know that I need to work on letting students read more in between the lines so that they're able to answer more inferential type questions.
Mm.
Um, if I see that students can answer inferential type questions, then I will have them make a lot of um, predictions based on what they think, dig a little bit deeper into the inferences, maybe visualize some of the things if they had to make a picture in their minds about it. So some of the ways that so those are some of the ways. I mean, obviously, the accuracy of the responses they give me with regard to the text that they're reading um, lets me know that
Mm-hmm.
what they know and what they don't know, and
Yes.
and also the assessments do as well.
Hmm.
So
Yes. Oh, okay. So, how often do you assess students for their progress?
I try to assess them at least once a month.
Okay.
Sometimes it's more than that,
Mm-hmm.
but usually minimally once a month.
Mm.
But it's on an as needed basis. I mean, it's not as though I say the 15th of every month I'm going to assess. It's
Mm.
if I assess you on the 15th and I feel by the 28th that you're really flying through this level,
Mm.
I might say maybe I can instruct them at the next level.
Yes.
So I would reassess. But it's just, once again, one of those things that you kind of have an intuition
Yes.
about.
Mm. Okay. Wow. That's really neat. Um, so for those students who need the time, who need more time to understand a concept, what resources do you turn to help students learn at a faster pace?
Well, we have here in our district a consulting group that we wrote a grant for, and they've actually come in to work with teachers in improving instruction during the readers workshop. So the consultant that comes in 20 about 25 or 26 days a year, and works with myself and the other reading specialist, and we plan out all of those days for her as to what the focus is going to be when she works with all of our language arts teachers in the building. She brings us a lot of resources. We go to her with a lot of questions, and she directs us, the right way. Oh, you can find information here, or you can find it from, or I'll email you, because she's not only a consultant in our district, she's a consultant at actually 10 other schools. In New York City, Harlem, Brooklyn, Queens. I believe we're the only district she works with in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
But she's a great resource, so we always use her. And then, I look to other teachers for resources. I think that teachers are really the best resource that we could have. I mean, our colleagues really have some super ideas and some great materials. I sometimes will ask the child study team for resources that might be useful. I go online a lot. I Google a lot. And, I get resources that way.
Yes.
So,
okay. All right. Excellent. I know in my music class, whenever I use technology, like having the students go to the smartboard and practice composing using 2 notes, and they move them around on the screen, and they're so engaged in the learning. Has technology affected the way your students learn?
Technology is amazing. In short, yes, it has. Yes. Did you finish asking me, or
yes,
did I? Okay,
yes.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was
No,
so excited. And that's how the students are. They are so excited about technology. The smart board, I think, is just the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, it's
yes.
and it's not only exciting for the students because it's so interactive and it gives them immediate feedback, and it's so visual. It's so great for visual learners. It's great for all learners, but it's just it's an amazing tool. And even better than the computer because it's just larger than life.
Yes.
And students can touch and drag words, and they can listen, they can see, and it just touches all modalities of learning. And I think that anything that we do on the smart board, the students get excited about. Even the most mundane thing, if you put it on the smart board, it's no longer mundane for them.
Yeah, I found that too.
Yeah. I mean, so it's really an amazing thing, and the students love it, and it's also exciting and motivating for the teachers because it challenges you to be creative, and who's going to create the best lesson, and who's going to insert the best visuals or the best sound clips and things like that. So and they have nice little video clips that we use, and the students can watch stories being read, and words being highlighted as they hear the stories. So they're very highly engaging and highly motivating. So technology is awesome. We also use iPods. Students can listen to stories on tape, with iPods, and so I mean technology has really brought a whole new realm into the classroom.
Yeah. So how often do you use technology in your classroom?
Well, when I had technology in my classroom, I would use it on a daily basis. But I do actually use a couple of the other specialists have smart boards in their rooms. So whenever I get an opportunity to use their rooms, I probably use it, I would say, at least 2 to 3 times a week. I do use my computer more than that. When the students come down, they like to go on the computer as well. But I would say on average 3 times a week.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's great.